Today on Hopped Up Beer Review, we're going to be trying Citrus Wheat from Alaskan Brewing Company out of Juneau, Alaska. Thank you for joining us. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and cheers that notification bell. Why not? I've got Jay. I've got Neo from the Matrix. I am Ben. What are we drinking today? Is this beer even real?
It's your sweet.
There is
Alaskan Brewing Company. Is that Andy in the silhouette there? We can't tell if anyone's wearing glasses.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
My brain tells me this is a beer.
I created this program.
Yep. All right. Another Alaskan Brewing Company beer here.
We're going to put Alaskan Brewing Company to bed with this beer. Done.
It's the last one.
D-U-N.
Well, I hope Alaskan Brewing Company's not done.
Oh, no. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Done on the show for a little bit.
Icy Bay.
It's interesting how the color comes out on y'all's screen versus mine. It looks very dark and amberish on y'all's, and
It's all ones
Very
and
nice.
zeros to me, man.
and green.
Zeros and ones.
Yeah.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Well, citrus sweet. It is a wheat ale. It's got some citrus in it. You can definitely detect that. It is 4.5% ABV. They didn't mention their IBUs on it. They didn't talk at all about this on their website. They didn't even have this on their website. Let's just say that. Others they mentioned, and I was able to grasp some information because we've done low IPA, we've done Icy Bay IPA, we've done amber, and this is the finest. This is citrus sweet. Were these all out of one, Ben? What you got us? Okay.
Yeah, it's one mixed box.
Yeah.
I got.
So we started it off. The very first one was low IPA. We did. So for some good history, excuse me, y'all can look back at low IPA or Icy Bay IPA. Excuse me. Wow, this one's highly carbonated.
It is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Alaskan Brewing Company out of Juneau, Alaska. It's a regional brewery. Started in 1986. Again, look back at that because we've talked about it a lot. Because I'm just going to keep burping through this if I try and recall the history. My job is done.
So, Ben, you brought this back from your trip to Colorado?
I did. Yep. So, we had not had any Alaskan beer. So I thought it would be a good pack for us to bring back and try for the show. Something I know Andy and I can't get it here. I don't know, Jay, if it's made it to Alabama at this point. But
Alaskan hasn't, but Anchorage has, and a couple of others. There's one or two from Alaska that have made it.
Gotcha. So, it's just typically when I make that trip to Colorado and I'm trying to figure out what to put in the car and the van because it's already so packed, I typically go with some of the mixed packs just so we can try several from a brewery. And the store that I usually visit doesn't sell singles. So it just is the best option for that.
It's an easy button.
Yeah. So there's a lot to choose from. So, it's always hard, when we go, I mean, you guys know this, anybody that goes to a beer store that's watching this show, walks in a beer store, there's a lot of beer. Maybe if you're traveling and you see a lot of beer you haven't ever had and you want to try it all, you can't, obviously. So you just kind of pick and choose. And so
You got your first experience with Total Wine the other day. You've never been there.
I had never been there.
That was your first to Total Wine?
First Total Wine experience.
That is my candy store.
About a week ago. Man.
Yeah.
Tell you what, and we were obviously a side story.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
But we were traveling through and it was, kids in the car, wife in the car. It was like supermarket sweep. If you used to ever watch that show, I made one lap through and looked at everything in the beer section. And then, with the cart went through and just started picking stuff out. And, it's probably in there 20 minutes. And I could have been in there for probably 2 hours, honestly.
Yeah, 20 hours.
But anyway, cool story. If you have not been to a Total Wine, definitely need to check that out. Total Wine will give you an address to send the check to.
Cool story. We've had several beer from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that's where I got all my Arizona ones.
Yeah, we've had some from DC, some from Albuquerque.
So back to the citrus sweet. I don't think anybody has had this one because, again, we've not really had any Alaskan. Apparently, I'd had an Alaskan, the amber. When we reviewed that, I'd had that before, but
in Dallas,
didn't really remember it.
But it's popular in some of the airports, I think.
Yeah, I remember where I'd had it now. After we talked about it, I'd had it at a bar with our mutual friend Michael. Shout out to Michael. It was one that I didn't necessarily recall having until you mentioned it, Jay. But yeah, this is I guess a new one for all of us. So given that we don't have a ton of information about the beer itself, we're just gonna have to do it ourselves. We'll put a little card up here that has the first beer reviewed, because that's gonna have the most information about the brewery. So you can go check that out after this video if you want to learn more about it. Jay, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, you can definitely taste the citrus on it and the wheat to me. I think you guys know me over time. I started drinking a lot of wheat beers when I was younger and have migrated pretty much away from a lot of the wheats. They're not my favorites anymore. Still drink them. I had several the other day, but it's not something that I'm going to run to and grab. But the citrus is a nice balance to this. The 4.5, it makes it easy drinking. I've finished already half of it. It's got good flavor. I think I'm going to go with probably a 6.5.
All right, Neo, what do you think? What are the ones?
I'm Agent Smith.
Okay, whoever. What did the ones and zeros tell you about this beer?
Well, it is very light and easy to drink. But in terms of flavor, yeah, you can pick up a little citrus, but unlike some really good, whether they're pales or IPAs, or it's just not enough flavor. Jay, I was on that same thinking, 6.5. It just leaves me wanting more. Yeah, it's light. Excuse me. It makes me burp, but it's easy to drink. But it's just, if it was in a lineup of some other beers, I would take this. If it was just of some basic macros.
Yeah,
that's about it.
That's what I was going to say. It reminds me a lot of the macros in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It's nowhere near like their Icy Bay or their Amber in terms of flavor. It just needs a little more flavor to it. No, it doesn't taste like a good wheat like we get some German wheats, or some Belgian wheats, it's just not enough the wheat flavor.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you 100% there. I think it's almost like it's like you take a macro, you add a little bit of wheat flavor, you add a little bit of citrus flavor, and this is kind of what you get. I feel that it's lacking in all pieces, all parts, on what it kind of advertises itself as. Citrus sweet, this drinks more like you said, like a macro, and for me, more like a macro with a little bit of flavor added to it. With that, I don't really care for this one, to be honest. I'm going to give it a 4. I think it's lackluster, in my opinion.
Brutally Honest Ben is back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've had some macros that I like better than this one, to be honest. So that is going to give us a 5.7 for the citrus wheat from Alaskan Brewing Company. One thing we did notice here was we looked at the best buy on the bottom of the can. It is slated as 3/10/22. Now, I actually bought this in February of 23. So, it's that possibly could be a reason for such a low rating.
And slowly poisoning us.
I mean, obviously it's not working because, speed it up a little bit, but hey, I think that's, maybe, hey, if this was fresher, it would have a better flavor to it. I'd like to think that for sure. I would say, if we run across citrus sweet again and it is within freshness, we should probably review it again, just to throw that out there.
I do want to say this. I think
Yes.
Jay has been having a seance in his room and he's talking to the spirits.
Yes.
So
it's part of Neo and
so everybody needs to rewind to see Jay's little what happened there.
I mean, that fits in with the Matrix theme of this episode, I think,
Yes. What is real?
Yeah, exactly. So with that, definitely appreciate you guys checking out this video. If you've had citrus wheat and we're way off because of the best by date that we found on the can, please let us know, and we would like to hear that comment for sure.
We're probably stuck in Alaska with bad Wi-Fi, so
it could be. Yeah,
it may never get to us.
So be sure to like, subscribe, cheers, that notification bell. Check us out on all the social medias. All the links are down below in the description. Come say hey on our Discord server. We have a Hopped Up Beer Review server on Discord. It is the 3 of us, along with others who have joined us, and you can chat with all of us there. And then we do have some Hopped Up Beer Review merch if you are so interested. You can pick up a t-shirt, a glass, some other stuff. Go check that out if that tickles your fancy.
And it's tickle fancies again.
Jay, for Neo in the Matrix, I am Ben. Cheers, mates. Or Agent
Cheers,
Smith.
mates.
Agent Smith.